and welcome to this edition of Rineyville Days. I'm Gina Ryan, and I'll be your host of today's parade coverage. Our videographer for the day is Reed Sampley. He's one of our production assistants at HCEC-TV. We're really excited about today's parade. It's a little rainy in Rineyville, but there's a lot of sunshine and the smiles that this parade brings out in everyone that views it. And of course, this is one of those parades where there is a lot of candy. It's like Halloween comes early in September in Rineyville because many of the parade participants toss candy to the ones that are watching the parade on the side of the road. And as you can see, even though it's a rainy day, there's still quite a few people out. Yes, you'll see some umbrellas and some rain slickers and rain hoodies, but everybody's all set for a great time. A number of people make the Rineyville Days weekend as part of a homecoming. Many people return for many of the activities. They have activities on Friday and Saturday. They kick it off with a pancake breakfast, and a lot of people come out for that. Of course, all the fundraising goes to the community park in Rineyville, and it funds many of the programs that the Rineyville Optimist Club and also the Rineyville Volunteer Fire Department does for the community. So it's a well-received community event. And like someone said recently, Hardin County does a terrific job promoting its small rural communities. And we're really proud of that. I'm a die-hard Rineyvillian, born and raised, lived in Rineyville all of my life except for the first 5 years of marriage. But I'm back in Rineyville, been back there for over 30-some years, so I just absolutely love this community. Leading this year's parade is the Hardin County Sheriff's Department. Of course, they stop traffic on Highway 220 and Rineyville Big Springs Road, and driving the vehicle for the Hardin County Sheriff's Department is County Sheriff John Ward, and he is the Democratic candidate on this year's election ballot. And of course, that election is coming up in the first Tuesday of November. Behind the Hardin County Sheriff, you will see the John Hardin JROTC Cadet Unit, an outstanding group of young men and women who bring forth just a terrific leadership and organizational skill set to John Hardin High School. They do a lot of community service for this entire community, and they are led by CW3 retired Chris Duval and Chief Master Sergeant Charles Robertson. And today they're going to be bringing in the colors for the parade, and also that you'll hear a little bit of their cadence. So let's take a listen to their cadence right now. Following the John Hardin JROTC group is the young people bringing up our Rineyville Homecoming Day banner. And they, of course, lead in who the Grand Marshal is going to be recognized this year. And this year, the Rineyville Homecoming Day Parade's Grand Marshal is in memory of Dale Taylor. He was a businessman from Rineyville, lived in the community, loved in the community, and died tragically last year, and leaves a wonderful wife and a loving family behind. But so today is in his honor. He is the Grand Marshal of the Rineyville Days Parade. And following that, we have a monster truck, the Bad Hombre, and it will be on display at the car show that will be part of this year's annual Rineyville Days. Every year, Gold City Towing, under the leadership or ownership, of course, of Eddie Skaggs, brings forth a terrific car show, and this big, the Bad Hombre is going to be on display there. This little group here is in a four-wheeler, and they're tossing out some candy. They got a flag flowing in the background there, and behind them is one of the towing trucks of Gold City Towing. Gold City Towing is they are the AAA providers in the area, and Eddie Skaggs is a local community business owner in Radcliffe and great community supporter of Rineyville and all the communities in Hardin County. And later today at Rineyville Days, he will be sponsoring the car show. Of course, with the rain falling, there may not be a lot of cars entered this year, but those that are will be something to look at. This is another one of Eddie's vehicles, and they have 24-hour service, and again, they are the AAA providers for this area. So if you are a AAA member or would like to become one, you may be using the services of Gold City Towing. And again, they're great community partners, and they're tossing out some candy. So as you see children walk up to the vehicles, they're trying to catch the many pieces of candy that are being tossed. This is one of those parades where children can literally get bags of candy. Coming behind them are the HCEC Bank employees. And of course, HCEC Bank is one of the longest businesses in Rineyville, and they're a great community partner. The individuals that work at that location are absolutely the best. Of course, all the locations of HCEC Bank have wonderful employees and staff members. They're your hometown community bank, and they make you feel that way too. In addition to that nice wagon load of staff members, they have a nice Mustang that they also take on the parade circuit. And following that, we have the HCEC Bank armored car. And in that armored car is Bob Owsley, and he has been with the HCEC Bank for 60 years. And he graduated from Rineyville High School many years ago. I'm not going to tell anybody, Bob, how many years ago you graduated from Rineyville High School. But, of course, he loves the community and he loves this area, and he is one of our treasures. And Bob might be tossing out a couple of dollar bills today. He's known to do that when he's in that armored vehicle for the HCEC Bank. And again, they're a hometown bank with rich tradition. Following the HCEC Bank, we have Danny Hutcherson, and Danny is the current Hardin County PVA officer, and he is again running unopposed for that position, and he's done a great job. And Danny is a great community member and helps us out, helps support all the communities in their endeavors. Following Danny Hutcherson, we have an entry from the Hill of Terrors. This is a scary group or an organization. They offer Halloween terror up through the end of October, of course, and they are located in Bonneville, Kentucky. They even have zombie paintball experiences. So if you're into that kind of thing, look into the Hill of Terrors. I'm sure they have a webpage. Following them is Hard Memorial Health, and of course their ambassador, Barbara Prophet, recently retired, but one of those individuals that will always be back. We'd love to see her out, and she's been out in all the parades this year, and she's saying hello to us. Hello, Barbara. And she's also tossing candy, saying, here you go. We appreciate Barbara Prophet and Hard Memorial Health, again, another great community partner. Tim Moore and the Republican GOP float is next, and Tim Moore is the Republican running for a state representative seat. And also in this float, they are promoting Bob Reynolds, who is a Hardin County jailer write-in candidate. And Bob Reynolds got a couple of vehicles there that are in the parade coming up, and he is a write-in candidate for this year's election for jailer. Both political parties, the GOP party and the Democrats, always come out in parade form. I know all communities that really appreciate that. It adds to the flavor. They bring the GOP, of course, brings the large elephant, and the Democrats bring the large rooster. Those are the mascots for those two political parties. And the Hardin County Democrats Party is showcasing John Ward's election that's upcoming for the Hardin County Sheriff's Department. And they're out and about promoting the Hardin County Democrats on the tickets this year for the upcoming November election. It's not too late to turn in your absentee ballot if you need to be an absentee balloter, if you're going to be out of the district or out of the area on that day, or have some medical issues. You can apply for one and get that in a timely manner. Following that float is Bonnie Wheeler, and she is a write-in candidate for the Hardin County Sheriff's Office. Bonnie Wheeler formerly worked for the Sheriff's Department, and she has submitted her name as a write-in candidate this year on the ballot, and she has a couple of vehicles in today's Rineyville Parade. So we just saw Bonnie pass our camera operator, and here's a truck coming up right behind her. And again, just mentioning again, there is a lot of candy being tossed to the kids watching the parade on the side of the road, so don't be alarmed. That's pretty commonplace in our communities, and if you've been watching a lot of our parade coverage, you see a lot of that happening, and that's just one of the things that makes Hardin County so special. It is a hometown feel, and that's one of those special things that we do. Again, Bonnie Wheeler is a write-in candidate for the Hardin County Sheriff's Department. Coming up behind her car is we will have one of our first churches that are participating in this year's parade, and that is the Blue Ball Baptist Church. Long history of being in our area. This year's theme is Fall in Love with Jesus, and they have a great float, beautiful fall colors, and a lot of their parishioners are out talking about their community and their church, and just saying, come celebrate with them. So come join Blue Ball Baptist Church, where everyone can fall in love with Jesus. And after them is a large John Deere tractor. And that's one thing that's pretty common in our community parades are our tractors. And this is a pretty nice tractor. And this is Rineyville Baptist Church Salvation Station float. Very creative float, and a number of their parishioners are offering candy and promoting to come visit their church, and a very friendly community church, and they invite you to come to their location in Rineyville. And they have a van that's following them, and they've got some handouts, and again passing out some candy to the parade viewers today. We have a Boy Scout troop coming up. This is one of the Rineyville Scout troops. I believe they're the Boy Scout troop number 600. Of course, the Boy Scouts have a very strong presence in our area. They honor the Boy Scout tradition, teaching all those skills that the Boy Scouts adhere to. Of course, they're showing them in their adventure gear. They do a lot of things like camping and boating and fishing and exploring, and just have a great time and really promote the development of young youth leaders today. And following them are the Girl Scouts. These are our Girl Scouts, and they're pack 676, and they've got a pretty mum on their float today. And a number of the Girl Scouts are out today in form, and even though they got their rain slickers on, they're still passing out their candy, so we appreciate them coming to help out today. And the Cub Scout Pack 600 is following them, and the Cub Scouts, of course, many of those groups do meet at Rineyville Elementary School. If you contact the school, I'm sure that they can give you those dates and times of meeting, or just Google them. I'm sure they all have Facebook pages. So the Boy Scouts Pack 600, the Cub Scouts Pack 600, and the Girl Scout Troop 676. The Cub Scouts, again, learning all those rich traditions of how to become a leader and a good citizen in the United States of America. And coming after the Cub Scout pack is a old Army Jeep, and I'm not sure who's driving that Jeep, but of course we appreciate those Army vehicles because Rineyville has a number of military dependents and retirees, veterans who live in our area. And Rineyville has a large population of veterans, and we love our military, and Fort Knox has done a great job for us. Now, this is one of our great community partners. It's Brandenburg Telecom, and Brandenburg Telecom, of course, helps HCEC-TV provide live sports coverage. Of course, you can watch all of that live sports coverage on its Channel 1. They're bringing fiber throughout the community with high-speed internet connectivity, and also they have security camera systems, and they're just great community partners. They're already there, always there to support us. So check out Brandenburg Telecom today, and you will not be sorry for that. Okay, one of the many pumpkin patches in the area is Mink and Walter's Pumpkin Patch, and if you Google that kind of thing, this is one of the most popular pumpkin patches in Kentucky, the Mink and Walter's Pumpkin Patch, and it's really close in the Hardin County area, so check it out and take your little ones there, and there's some fun things for the older ones as well. Some beautiful pumpkins and mums and gourds and hay rides and corn mazes, and just a lot of fun. So check those out. Always fun to do this time of year. We have one of our candidates for magistrates in the parade. Bill Hay is a magistrate, and he's running in the 7th District, which is part of Hardin County, of course. And Bill Hayes, he's retired principal from the Hardin County Schools, and has served as a magistrate before in Hardin County. Following them is a Rineyville School, Rineyville Elementary School, one of the larger schools in the Hardin County Schools, great elementary school, high-performing, great community, wonderful teachers under the leadership of Stephanie Lucas Breeding. Congratulations on her recent marriage to John Breeding. And we appreciate all that the Rineyville Elementary School staff and students do for the Rineyville community. They always are out helping with community events and lending a hand when hands are needed. Now, coming up is Gary King, and Gary King is magistrate for the 8th District, and this year he is unopposed. And Gary has served as a magistrate on the Hardin County Fiscal Court for a number of years, and we appreciate his service. And of course, he is a former Hardin County School assistant principal and counselor, and has done a lot for the community, and we appreciate Gary King coming in our parade. Now we have many of our volunteer fire departments coming in. Of course, you hear the sirens, and this is one of our rescue vehicles for Rineyville Volunteer Fire Department. We have over 30 volunteer members. It is a complete volunteer fire department. They're always looking for new volunteers, so if you would like to join the fire department, please go on Facebook, look at their page, like it, and then request some information. But the Rineyville Fire Department, they, of course, support all the other local volunteer fire departments. They all work together to help the community whenever anything is in need. So we really appreciate our Rineyville voluntary fire departments. And they have a large number of children that also help out. They raise a lot of money for the Crusade for Children every year. They do a lot of events that help support many things the community does. Of course, individuals in the community, it's really important to pay your fire fees. It really helps those volunteer fire departments invest in new and more advanced equipment to help them do their job better. And so make sure you participate in that campaign every year on your property taxes. This is one of our rescue vehicles, and every single vehicle has a purpose and a place, and depending on what type of event they are called to the rescue on, it will determine what type of vehicle they bring to the event. Following that, we also have Glendale Fire Department. They brought one of their volunteer trucks up to join us today. Like I said, all the fire departments in our area, the volunteer fire departments, which include Glendale, 86, 84, Central Hardin, those are all volunteer fire departments. Upton has one, West Point has one. They all work together with Rineyville. Vine Grove, Radcliffe, and Elizabethtown do have small paid staffs, but everyone works together to support each other in the community. And like I said, these volunteer fire department members, they are outstanding. We could not do They could not do all the work they do without those wonderful volunteers. This is a vintage fire truck that has been renovated, and this is kind of a cool little, it not only supports the volunteer firefighter effort, but it's also a business opportunity to promote Armored Planet Web Design. That business is located in Rineyville. Bill Rademacher is the owner of that, and if you check him out, Google his name, or Armored Planet Web Design, you'll find out information about that. And here's one of the additional fire trucks from the Rineyville Fire Department. And great people passing out some candy and helping out the community. The next entry is a tribute, and it's in memory of First Lieutenant Eric Yates, who served in the military and was killed in action in September 18th, 2010. And his family lives in Rineyville, and there's a portion of St. John Road that's dedicated to Eric Yates' memory. And his name can be found on the American Legion Memorial at the American Legion Park in Elizabethtown. So next time you go to the American Legion Park, make sure you look at that memorial. It's a tribute to all of those that have died in the line of military service. Now we have a beautiful classic caprice coming up. This classic caprice will probably be in the Eddie Skaggs car show later today. And then we have a Nova, pretty nice Nova, and looks like a great orange color, nice for the Halloween or October season. And then following that is a Mustang, a black Mustang, and they have braved the weather to get their classic cars out to be in the Rineyville Days Parade today. So we appreciate them getting out in the weather and doing so. And again, at every Rineyville Days on the Saturday, there is a car show, and it follows usually the end of the parade. And if you go to the Rineyville Community Ballpark, there will be bounce houses and all kinds of activities for kids and adults alike. There's a lot of food. The special burgoo is always being served. A number of school groups have booths. A number of craft vendors are there. And just a lot of community partners out to celebrate today. We have a large auction, too, that generates money. Now we have our tractors, our antique or vintage tractors. This is one of Ben Pauley's Farms tractors. It's a John Deere, and got a couple of a dad and a son on that tractor together, and another John Deere following that. I am not very good with tractor years, so if you are a tractor aficionado, please do not shoot the messenger. But this one here is in memory of Tom Wiseman, and Tommy, of course, his daughter Elaine and Diane Taylor were two of the prominent people that got the Rineyville Days Parade or Community Days started, and Elaine Wiseman Gear and her family are well ingrained in this community activity. Here's another Ben. This is Bill Pauley's tractor, and he's got an International. I'm wondering if the Ben and Bill Pauley Farms battle over, is it John Deere or International, which is the better? Not sure there. Following that is an Alice Chalmers tractor, an older tractor, and the tractor following that's kind of unique. I had even have to look up the name of this one. This is a Case, C-A-S-E, and he's got him a little cover. So he's got a hood to kind of keep the rain away from him, and that works great on a day like today, and also probably pretty good back in the old days if you ever had that in the old days. Following that is another Alice Chalmers tractor, and usually Alice Chalmers are bright orange, and behind that, of course, is John Deere. John Deere is usually a green and yellow mark of John Deere tractor. Internationals are usually red, and you'll be seeing a farm haul upcoming, and that's usually a red color also, just like the Internationals. Okay, here's another John Deere tractor, and we appreciate everyone that puts their tractors in the parade. It always brings oohs and ahs, especially these older models, and it's just amazing to me the condition but many of these tractors can still work today. This is G.T. Lewis. He's retired from Brandenburg Telecom. He's one of our great helpers when we started doing live work. And G.T. has a whole arsenal of tractors, vintage tractors. This is his lovely wife on another tractor behind him, and they're tossing out candy, and he's tossing candy to our videographers. We appreciate that. I'm sure Reed appreciates that. This is one of those farm haul tractors that I mentioned earlier, and it's bright red, and an older model tractor, but still can do the job, as you can see. Of course, tractors are something that's pretty common in Rineyville. Very still much a rural and farming community, even though we do have a lot of veterans and a lot of people that live in the community but work outside of the community. It's just a great community to live in. And this little tractor here was rather unique, and it's a small farm haul, and I would love to have that for my granddaughters. I'm sure they would love that little tractor there. Now you have four-wheeler coming up, and that's Joey Venter's in that with his, I think that's his lovely wife there, and they're in the parade today with their four-wheeler. And like I said, it's a great parade. Even though some raindrops fell on us, everybody still had a great time. Don't forget, it's usually the fourth Saturday in September. Usually the Friday night before, we have fireworks. There's food that's available that night and some great music. On Saturday, there's a pancake breakfast, then the parade, and following the parade, there's a lot of activities that takes place at the Rineyville Optimist Club ballpark. Again, want to thank you for joining us today for the parade at Rineyville Community Homecoming Days, and coming up you'll see some of the other activities that took place that day, and we look forward to seeing you next year.